Some such stones have been installed on the structure of a temple in Lebanon that the human mind is stunned to see them. The weight of each stone is as much as 3 blue whales, and surprisingly, they were not only cut in one piece with great skill, but were also transported from 1.5 kilometers away, that 2,000s of years ago. But the mystery is that till date no such civilization of humans has passed which is famous for cutting such big stones. Has there been any such civilization in history which had the knowledge which we do not have today? To investigate these stones, a team of German archaeologists started digging at the place from where these stones were brought. There is still an incomplete stone there whose weight is said to be 1,200 tons, i.e. about 4 Boeing 747s. After digging here, the archaeologists found some such evidence inside the ground which is very difficult to believe. There is a city named Baalbek in the east of Lebanon's Bekaa Valley where people come to see some ruins of the Roman Empire. But the interesting thing is that the ruins that can be seen from above were in the era of ruins, but below it, archaeology has found some evidence that has no connection with the Roman Empire, at least not yet. There is a temple built by the ancient Romans here, which is called the Temple of Jupiter. This temple is still the best example of the architecture and skill of the Roman Empire, but a foundation of very big stones has been found under the construction of this temple. Earlier it was thought that perhaps it is not in one piece, but small stones have been joined with great skill in such a way that it looks like one. But after doing various tests it was confirmed that it is nothing but one giant stone. These stones which were made of stone were made of stone. Later, the Trilithon was lifted 30 feet up and placed there. This was probably done for the first time in human history. If we want to estimate the size and weight of these stones, each stone weighs 9 lakh kg, which means it is 1.5 times heavier than the world's heaviest ship Antonov A225 Maria and 10 times bigger than the biggest stones used in the construction of the Pyramid of Giza. Despite their huge size, these stones were somehow transported from Ken to here, which is about 1.5 kilometers away from here, and then placed on the blocks of the Heliopolis complex, on which later complex blocks were placed and erected. The accuracy with which these stones were cut and joined is really an extraordinary task, especially for that era when it was difficult to even imagine modern machinery, because there is not even a paper's distance between them. If we look at Roman structures, their focus was on beauty. They wanted to show their construction skills to the world, but on the contrary, it was buried inside the Trilithon. After seeing this, a question comes to mind that if a civilization does such a great feat, then why would it hide it? The ancient Romans, who are famous for keeping records of their every skill, did not do this Trilithon, but they built their temple on the ready-made foundation. Apart from this, according to historians, the biggest crane that the Romans had could lift only 60 tons of weight, due to which it is extremely impossible for it to lift these 900 tons of stones. And whatever stones the Romans lifted with the crane, they used to make a hole of a special shape in the middle of it, which is called Lewis holes, but we do not have any such record of lifting and bringing Trilithon here. Then how could they have done it with such mastery? Who did this work? Who built the actual foundation of the Temple of Jupiter? The other stones of the Temple of Jupiter are put in with finishing, while Trilithon believes that, keeping all these things in mind, Trilithon they are older than the Roman Empire, that is, 10,000 years before. The work which is considered impossible to do in today's modern era, which civilization did it and how? This is a secret about which archaeologists have not been able to tell anything till now. If we keep this Trilithon in Baalbek, then such big stones can be seen at many places in the compound of Temple of Jupiter, next to the stairs. Look at this 800-ton stone. Even moving it is not an easy task. After this, we come to the south wall, where countless blocks weighing from 400 to 800 tons are found. Some are above the ground and many are below the ground, but no one knows how deep it is in the ground. Its fitting has been done very cleanly, and the line made on the border is less than 1 millimeter. After seeing this, this work looks more complicated. There are some marks on the surface of these stones. Strange marks are present, like those made on stones due to modern mining machinery of today. The length of these marks is up to 10 feet and they are completely parallel to each other. If we talk about the tools of ancient times, then none of them can make such marks, at least there is no such tool on the records of historians. Such tool marks have also been seen on the stones of Yanshan Quarry in China. Here, a stone block weighing 16,000 tons is present, on which there are marks on the same lines as on the stones of Baalbek. Similarly, similar marks have been seen in the ancient city of Petra in Jordan. This city was also built at least 2,300 years ago by cutting the stones of the mountain. If a comparison is made, then these marks are like the modern machinery of today. That is, in the ancient times also there was such technology which could cut the stones like modern machinery. But obviously, historians do not have any concrete proof of this. Now let us come to the place from where these Baalbek stones were actually brought. Trilithon is about 1.5 kilometers away from the Temple of Jupiter, and it is a limestone ear. Some half-cut stones are still present here. This is more surprising because it is known as the Temple of Jupiter and the Complexed Woman. There are many stories about how it got this name. It is 68 feet long, 14 feet high, and 14 feet thick. Its weight has been calculated to be 1,200 tons according to the area. This stone is lying at an angle while its lower part is still attached to the ear stone. Whoever cut it in this shape did not get a chance to separate its lower part, and perhaps they had to leave this work in the middle, otherwise perhaps this stone would also have been found in the Temple of Jupiter today. The same pattern of marks are present on the bottom of this stone, which is seen on the side of Jupiter. In the Jungfrau Park of Switzerland, a model of the pregnant woman stone has been placed around which some models of modern cranes have been placed. The purpose of showing this is that if the pregnant woman stone has to be lifted even in today's era, then about 20 cranes together can do this work, and that too only when there is space of 50 to 60 feet around the stone to place the cranes. Earlier, the pregnant woman stone was half buried in the ground, but in 2014, when a team of archaeologists excavated here, it was found that even inside the ground, it was separate from the ear. Only the bottom of this block is still connected to the ear. That is, due to lying like this for thousands of years, the layer of soil has buried it inside the ground. Scientists believe that just 1 inch of the key layer takes approximately 80 to 100 years to accumulate. If we look at the old pictures of the pregnant woman stone, it is buried up to 10 feet, i.e. 120 inches. So, if 1 inch is equal to 80 years, then it will take 9,600 years for 120 inches to accumulate. It is very difficult to imagine and understand that humans were capable of doing such a challenging task in the Stone Age, about 10,000 years ago. In 2014, when excavation was done for this stone, another surprising thing came to light. Another hidden stone. This stone is buried inside the ground right next to the pregnant woman stone, which weighs 1,650 tons according to estimates. Known as the Forgotten Stone, this is the world's largest stone taken out from any ear. This is just a block of 100 centimeters. This is just that part of the block which is visible from the surface. At present, nothing can be said about how deep inside the can and what all is hidden. These stones remain a mystery for today's scientists, including engineers and archaeologists. The reason for this is that the methods used to cut, transport, and place them in the right place do not seem possible for any famous ancient civilization or even for today's builders of Hada. Apart from this, the journey from Ken to Baalbek is not only upwards due to the mountain but is also very rough. There is no evidence that in the ancient period a straight path was made for the transport of these stones, which would have made it easier to pull the stones. Not only this, how could these heavy stones have been lifted so carefully after being delivered to the side of Baalbek? Even if it is assumed that instantite is, it gives a hint of the time when the height of humans was very big and their body was strong like that of a god. Various religious books like Bible, Quran, and Hindi scripts also mention such humans who were very tall and strong. They had such powers which are possessed by superhumans in fiction movies. They have been given different names in various books, like in Bible they have been called Nephilim. Somewhere their height has been said to be 450 feet and somewhere up to 100 feet, and for those civilizations, perhaps lifting the stones of Baalbek was not such a difficult task. Hope you people will like and share this video.